Hi everyone, welcome back. So today I'm going to go real old school because I am not only very much way behind on every kit that I get, but we've had lots of family stuff going on, so I am a little behind with stuff. So I'm going to keep this real simple and a bit old school. So I am going to showcase the Walk on a Wild Side Tonic Studios kit number 72, I want to say, and I've just got some Picket Fence Distress ink, which is like a white pigment ink, so I'm going to use that for my sentiment. I've got my sentiments ready on a block, and I've chosen to, like I say, use the papers from the Walk on a Wild Side. You can see there's some bits in there, so I've just selected a couple of colours. I'm using the Shallow and It's Your Birthday because I need some more birthday cards. That's always handy for any time of the year really. And I'm on on a white piece of paper here. And then out of the die kit, which is a Walk on the Wild Side, there's all these little critters which I showed you in the unboxing video. And it's all the little elements like tree trunks and grass and all that sort of thing to go with it. But we're just going to use this guy here. And what I did was I cut the outline out in one colour and then cut the outline out again in a different colour. 2 shades of green is what I'm using. And then cut it out within one of those colours. I used this inlay piece here to cut all the detail out. Now I thought the eye was actually going to cut out whole out, but it doesn't. So I'm actually going to use something different, but all the eyeballs are here. So that makes it easy because it's on one die. But I'm going to do something different for his eye. And then the only other piece is I cut this section out again for his mouth. That's it. Basically three cuts. I ran it through 4 times, but that's just because of the inlay piece. So what we have is these 3 pieces to put our little turtle, tortoise, whatever you want to call him, together. So I'm going to do that now, just with some wet adhesive. I think that'd just make the most sense. So let's get him stuck together. And these were actually a lot easier to put together than I thought. There is that part that you need to like multi-cut to get certain things. So you could do a whole inlay for a shell, and that would look really nice. But I wanted to keep this simple. Like I say, we've got lots of family stuff going on at the moment. So sometimes you have to keep it simple, right? So I chose the lighter green as the background piece and the slightly darker one for the top, if you like. And when you lay those over, once you've die cut the 2 pieces together, you then have your tortoise. Like I say, you can inlay you can cut this out in multiple colours, multiple colours, and then inlay all those little pieces for his little toenails and his kneecaps and I don't know, underbelly maybe, and the shell, his little eyebrow, that's what that is, his nostril and his mouth. His mouth I did do because I thought that made sense. So I'll just pop that in. Oop. Like so. So now he's got a little pink mouth. Which I think is cute. And then for his eye, again I went a bit old school. We're going to use a googly eye. I haven't used one of these for many years. So I actually have a really big one here, and well, it's kind of the medium size of the sizes I've got, but the little ones were too little and then the bigger ones were way too big. But I actually like that this is slightly bigger than maybe you would think to put on him, because I think it just makes it look so cute. So I'm just popping it somewhat underneath the little eyebrow bit, and ta-da, how simple is that? So sometimes we overthink the die cutting thing, like I do all the time, and we think we have to use all the dies in a set, or if you, like with me, I try to showcase as much as I can out of a kit, but sometimes when you don't have time, keep it simple. So we're just making a really simple birthday card. So there's our little tortoise. I'm just going to put him off to one side. He can just sit there and chill out. And then for the card base, I have, this is just some plain white cardstock, box standard stuff. And this was a piece I just had lying around, so I cut it down to measure 8 by 5 1/4, and that's because, well, UK paper isn't 8 1/2, so it's 8 1/4, and then the math gets kind of tricky for my brain, so I just keep it simple, use whole numbers and all that. So so it's folded then at 4. So it's 4 inches then by 5, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then what I did was I just went down 1/4 of an inch, and we're going to have a landscape card for this one. So I'll just keep that to one side for a second. So this then measures 5 by 3 3/4. And that's our base background. And that's the same color as the inside of the turtle shell. So that when you've got that layered on top, it's not going to blend into the background. And I was going to actually emboss this, like dry emboss it, but again, didn't think. So we're just going to go with it. This is kind of textured paper. It's really nice paper actually. And then I'm going to have a strip of brown which measures 5 by, I think this was 1.5 inches, and that's going to go across the bottom here. And I might just leave it a little gap there just for a bit of interest. So we're going to do that just with some tape runner. This is some Spellbinders tape runner. Oops. And then just lining that up, oops, where I want it. Somewhat straight, that'll do. And then I have a strip, this is the pink that came out of the card kit as well. All these papers come out of there, except his little pink mouth. It was so small, I found a piece of scrap cardstock instead of cutting into a big sheet. But this is the pink that's in there, and this is 1/2 inch by 5. And I'm going to pop that just across both of those, and it just kind of brings it all together, I think. So that's what we're going to do with that strip. And just pop it across the centers. Oops. Somewhat straight. And there you have it, sort of basic layout for a card for anything, any occasion. It does look like it's got a little excess there. Let's just trim that down. Right, so that's your base piece done. Then I'm going to take the Distress Picket Fence. Now I've never owned this before, so this is very new to me, but I thought this would be quite a nice experiment to see how this white ink works on dark cardstock, which it should, because that's why I bought it. And I'm a huge Distress ink fan, but we'll see. If it goes completely wrong, that's okay too. We can then, because this is textured as well, we can then make another plan. So I just want to see where he's going to go. And then I'm going to pop this down here. And I'll just hold it there for a second. Just let the ink kind of absorb a little bit. I know it sits on the surface because it's a pigment ink, but I still like to let it have a chance to stick to the paper, especially that this is textured. So we'll see. Now, you're never going to get a super crisp image when you're talking white pigment ink on dark cardstock, but I think that works really well. And don't forget, things like your white pigment inks you can also use with a blending brush as you would your oxides, and use it around the edges if you want that sort of snowy look at like Christmas time and stuff. But it says shallow, it's your birthday. So they're two separate stamps, just so you know, and I just butter them up against each other to then stamp them on here. So that's that. And now all we need to do, although I want to make sure that's not too wet still, is I'm going to pop it onto the card base. But isn't this a really easy card? And sometimes I do really complicated stuff, and mostly that's if I've got time to do complicated stuff. I don't always have time to do real complicated things. When I say complicated, they're never complicated. I don't do that really. But when I say that, I mean like maybe things that have got more detail in them, you know, where the die cuts have not only been die cut out but inked around the edges and things like that, which you could easily do with this. So last thing is to add some foam to the back of this little guy, and I'm just using a combination of smaller and larger foam pads. They're the same thickness, so it won't get all weird and wonky, but they're different different sizes. And then we'll just get these off. Oops. And because I'm going onto a textured cardstock, I am just going to add a bit of glue to the back here of each of the foam. It works in two ways. One, it allows you a little bit of time to get it exactly where you want it. And the other thing is that it will help to bond better. So if you've got something like a glitter cardstock or the texture should be mostly okay, but if you've got something like a glitter or a like if we'd had it dry embossed this background, you need it to really bond, because there's going to be wiggly bits and like texture in the background, or if you've used a texture paste, something like that. So I would suggest using both. Then you get your height with your foam, but you also get it to stick properly. So let's do this guy about there, and that's as difficult as that got. So there you go. You can add tons of other stuff. You can add ribbon, you can add blingy things. Like I say, I probably should have embossed this background just to give it a little bit more interest in this top bit, but isn't that super cute and very simple? I don't think the camera's doing it justice because the colours are actually a bit brighter than what my camera's showing up, but what an easy card. And I think sometimes, especially this time of year, we need super simple. Keep it simple, guys, and get your crafting done and get your cards out. So you can use the same layout for any time of year, just FYI. So this is a birthday card, but you could use this as a Christmas card and have a Christmas sentiment here, and then this could be your Christmas die cut. You know, could be poinsettias, or it could be Santa's head, or that probably sounded a bit weird, but you know what I mean, like a snowman or something instead. And it's the same layout, but you've kept it simple, and then it makes it easy when you've got like a billion Christmas cards to make, which I usually do and forget to send out. So yeah, anyway, I hope this was fun for you. I hope it also helps some of you who are either new to crafting and who maybe need a bit of help as to how to get started. This is a very simple way to do that. Start simple, and then you can always progress by using inks and you know, getting into more detailed cards. But keep it simple to start with, And for those of you who have been doing this for many years, sometimes going back to simplicity is a key thing, and helps mentally get you back into the zone, which is what I definitely need at the moment. So yeah, I hope this was fun, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you loved this kit. I love this kit. I love critters and things. So I will be back with more videos on these little guys at some point, but like I say, right now I'm trying to keep things simple. So till next time, guys, bye for now.